friend found this 1970 Schwinn Racer 3-speed in Campus Green online. He sent me photos from the classified ad that were very small and hard to make out. I believe this bike originally came with painted fenders and black messenger seat, similar to this 1968. I could tell from the photos that the bike was missing fenders, the front brake lever, and all of the shifter components. Otherwise, the bike appeared to be a pretty good deal based on the current market here in Northern California. So I gave him the go-ahead, he purchased the bike, and brought it to me. Determining the year on this bike is pretty easy for a number of reasons. I can narrow the date range just by the chain guard and the front chain sprocket. In 1972, Schwinn changed the name on these lightweights from Racer to Speedster. So this tells me that this bike is a 1971 or earlier model. In 1969, Schwinn changed the design of the front chain sprocket from this clover design to this new mag style. Given this, the bike is either a 69, a 70, or 71. Of course, this assumes that this is the original chain guard and sprocket.
Dude, are you reading from a script? No, not.
The best way to determine the exact year of this bike would be the serial number. I believe US-made bikes from 1955 to 1982 embedded the month and year of the manufacturer into the first two characters of the serial number. Serial number location also gives us a clue to when the bike was produced. In the 50s, they were generally on the bottom of the crank tube. In the 60s, they were on the rear dropout, non-chain side. And in the 70s, they were on the side of the head tube, as we see here. The first two characters here are K as in Ken and F as in Frank. The K represents the month. We determine the month by counting from A to K, skipping the letter I, which gets us 10, which means this bike was manufactured in the month of October. The F represents the year. In 1965, Schwinn changed from a single-digit numeric year to a single-digit alpha year. So if we count forward from A to F, A being 1965, we get 1970. This gives us a manufacture date of October 1970. I knew from the original photos that the bike was missing the fenders, one of the front brake levers. It's missing the shifter, similar to this one. It's also missing the fulcrum right here and the shifter pulley, as well as the shifter cable. I would expect for a bike of this age to have to replace the tires, tubes, rim strips, shifter cable, brake pads. These are really cool. Cool stop. They come with a sticker. As well as brake cables, which no lo tengo, but hopefully we'll get those soon. I realized that we had a problem once I saw this bike in person. These are not the original wheels. This bike would have come originally with Schwinn S5 rims like these. I am thinking these are some kind of aftermarket rims. To make matters worse, the rear hub is a Sturmey Archer 40-spoke hub, which would not work with Schwinn S5 or S6 36-spoke rims. This means we would need to find a set of 26-inch S5 rims with a Sturmey Archer AW 3-speed hub. The reason we can't use these wheels is that they are slightly smaller than the S5 wheels. The tire size on these are 37.590, and on the Schwinns they are 37.597. The actual diameter of the wheels on the Schwinn are about 3/8 of an inch larger, and what that does is when you put fenders on the bike, as you can see, it creates quite a bit of space in between the tire, and it kind of looks a little odd. I also noticed that the seat wasn't very comfortable when I first sat on the bike. I looked underneath and saw that the padding had melted. I've never seen anything like this before. This is not the original seat. This most likely came off of a Breeze Deluxe or a Racer Deluxe. Those bikes came with the Messenger mattress seat, like this. This bike came with a standard black non-mattress seat, similar to the 68 Racer. Other issues I noticed with this bike, first of all, the pedals, as you can see, they're pretty loose. One of the grips actually has a rip on it on the other side. As well, I am not convinced that this is a Weinmann brake lever, nor a period correct 70s Diacomp for that matter. And finally, these brake pads are not correct. Luckily, this bike came with some extra parts, most of which are of no use except for this 730 Weinmann brake caliper. This has the original pads. We'll have to replace the pads, but can still use the cartridges that holds the pad. Believe it or not, these can cost between 20 and 30 bucks on eBay. So what we ended up with is, after all said and done, a frame, a forks, a chain guard, chain, crank, seat post, handlebars, but actually the handlebars appear to be a little bit smaller. I think these are women's bikes handlebars. The stem and brake calipers. These are actually the original brake calipers. But to be honest, I am a little disappointed. But I still think we did okay. I may have tried to negotiate a little better of a deal if I was there in person, but there's no guarantee we would have got one.
I christen the green money eating machine.
So what's the plan? To purchase all the needed parts individually would cost hundreds and push us way over budget. And yeah, we have a budget. So I'm going to have to find a donor bike, most likely a woman's Breeze from a similar year and hopefully the same color, campus green. Wish me luck.
That's all for now. And remember, it's only original once. Take care.